Hello everybody, this is Valencia Flyer. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. All right, well, today has been a month. It has been a month that I have been a line. It has been a month that I have been officially a flight attendant for the company that I work for here in the US. And boy, has it been an education. Let me tell you, it has been an education. So today I just wanted to spend a few minutes and let you know how my first month was, what my experiences were, what my challenges were, any concerns that I might have, but overall just the whole experience of what it's been like to be a flight attendant for the very first time in my life. I'm in the aviation industry. I don't come from an aviation industry background, so this is all brand spanking new to me. So let's get into it and figure out how it was for my first month. All right, so if you've been following the channel, you've kind of been seeing how this has been unfolding little by little. The first month started with the base orientation to where we had to report to base in Detroit. I'm based in Detroit, and we spent the whole day going over kind of like how to bid for your schedule, the do's and the don'ts, things to that nature, you know, keeping one health up, because that's a big thing that they try to hammer into us, is to take care of our health, which is very important, because fatigue is a thing. It's definitely a thing. I mean, you can get tired, sure, at the end of your day, but fatigue is a completely different thing, and they try to do everything to let you know that it's there, it's possible. So just do your very best to take care of yourself so that fatigue doesn't set in. So, and there's a lot of really cool apps that they give us, and a lot of really cool help. There are certain hotlines that we can communicate with friends, you know, basically a network, so that we are taking care of ourselves the best possible way. So that was really cool information. So we really appreciated that. We had a great time. So my first trip of my entire flight attendant career was a 3-day to Milwaukee, a layover in Milwaukee, and then also laid over in Austin, Texas. And boy, was that a great trip. I had a wonderful crew. They weren't very old. I think they were all within 2 years of being on the line themselves, but they knew that it was my first time, so they took me under their wing. They were very helpful, gave me a lot of great tips. And a lot of things happened on that particular trip. It was a nice smorgasbord of things that could and will happen eventually. We had like canceled flight. We had a situation where because of that canceled flight, all of the people on our plane were taken into a hotel. They were well taken care of, but unfortunately there was one instance where we literally finished a flight. We thought we had finished our rotation for the day, our trip for the day, and they assigned us another trip right away as we were landing. So we're like, okay. And then that one, it was the funniest thing. It was like a cartoon. We got out from one gate and literally walked next door into another gate and went right onto that plane. It was the funniest thing. But because those people who had been waiting for us for a while, we got a standing ovation, which was so unexpected, but it was kind of fun. It was really interesting. So everyone was very happy to see us on that second plane. And we got onto that one and try to get those people to where they needed to be as quickly as possible. So everyone was very appreciative. So we had that going on. I had a situation where there was almost like an argument between two customers. Luckily, it didn't escalate to anything. They were just like little rah, 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 and then that was it. So okay, good. That was not a big deal. So everyone was cool. And so yeah, it was a very interesting trip. We had a nice layover in Milwaukee, which I actually loved. I'd never been to Milwaukee. I did not know what to expect, and it was a really nice town. We found a nice restaurant that had bratwurst, and it was delicious. Had some great conversation with my crew. We walked around. I took some photos. I took a little bit of video of the nightlife. It was a nice place. And then on this next time, we actually laid over in Austin, but our layover was a lot shorter in Austin, and we weren't really able to explore the city at all because we had to leave early the next morning. I think around 6, 7, or 8 in the morning. But that hotel, gorgeous. One of the most beautiful hotels in Austin, Texas that I've ever been to in my life. I was just like, wow, this place is amazing. So yeah, that was really, really cool. So we had some really good trips. I had another trip that I laid over in Portland. I had another trip where I laid over in, let's see, where else did I lay over? I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Oh yes, there was another one where I laid over in San Diego. That was a lot of fun. Beautiful day. San Diego was a lot of fun. I actually went to go see a movie. I went to go have a meal with that particular crew. So that was a lot of fun. That was cool. I also did oh my God, Rochester, New York. Okay, so Rochester, New York, it was kind of empty, but we did find this one barbecue place that was amazing. Amazing barbecue. It smelled good. It tasted great. I had just a great meal on that one. It was really, really cool. And then I also laid over in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio was cool. It was interesting, and I'd never been there before, so I got to have some good food over there as well. And yeah, so that's in a nutshell. Those were the trips that I took. There were a few more that I took as well, but we had a great time there. So let's talk a little bit about crash pads. I'm based in Detroit, and luckily I was able to find this crash pad, which is essentially a hotel that I am, using with 3 other great flight attendants. One of them is called Raspberry, Chris, and David. So the 3 of us are great friends. We get along great. They're not here right now, so they're out and doing their adventures, so I have the place to myself, which is really cool. But we found a nice crash pad here, very close to the airport. So I'm going to do another episode specifically on the crash pad, but that came out really well. A days. So far, my A days have been cool. The first 3 A days that I had, I didn't get anything. So I literally just sat around waiting for the call that never came. But on the 4th day, I did get a scheduled a trip out of it. So that was great. And I think on that one, I went to Portland on that one, if I'm not mistaken, or something else, but I can't remember. But anyway, that was great. So let's talk a little bit about what this job is really about. So the job itself, you're taking care of your customers, right? You're doing a great job. I've been in the hospitality industry for a very long time. This is my first time at an actual airline, but the hospitality, warmness, those rules still apply no matter what you're doing, right? So I'm very happy to take care of all of our customers, a warm welcome, a warm goodbye, and everything in the middle. So everyone so far, to me, has been great. I treat them with, the utmost politeness and respect, and, try to tend to them as quickly as possible. And they're very appreciative. So it's great. It's a great setup in that sense. The work itself is good. It's rewarding. You get to take care of these people, and everyone's happy, and they get them safely from point A to point B, which is our job, right? So our job is not inherently hard. We just have to stay on top of everything that we're doing, stay aware, make sure that everything's, safety is upmost, is the first thing. But overall, the actual job is not inherently difficult. What is difficult, though, this is the part where it is a little bit challenging. And that is that I didn't realize that even though your schedule shows that you're going to be doing this flight and this flight on this day, this flight and this flight on this day, and you seem to have a good layover, and now you don't have anything going on here, you don't have anything going on here. But the reality is that, at least so far for me, the biggest challenge is that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time out of your schedule, out of your day. Because I'm a commuter and I'm based in Detroit, even though I live on the West Coast, there's a lot of time that I'm not at home with my family. Now, hopefully later on when I transfer over to Seattle, that will change. But for now, and I'm cool with it, it is difficult, and there's a lot of time away from home. There's a lot of time waiting around for that, that flight. Sometimes you'll get a delay, which makes you wait even longer. That's happened a couple times where I've had a delay of at least 2 hours for each flight that I've been delayed, and that's just part of it. It's just part of it. You just got to roll with it, but it does take time. So it can monopolize. It can monopolize your whole entire day. Even though you're working this, you're going to be using this much time of your whole day to work this. So that is one of the biggest challenges, in my opinion, that I've had to overcome. So the better I get at it, the better I'm able to bid for my schedule, the better I'm able to move and shift things around. And then of course being transferred over to Seattle when that happens, that'll be cool. And I think things will be a little bit more organized and not spending as much time. But the way it is right now, it does take a lot of time, and a lot of time away from home. But on the upside, the people that I've been meeting has been great. I've been meeting some great flight attendants from all walks of life, from all over the country. A lot of cool experiences. I get to hear some really cool, interesting stories. Some are really funny. Some are like, oh my God, no way. Did that really happen to you? Ouch. I hope that never happens to me, right? So it's one of those situations, but it's great. It's awesome when our friends get to meet up at a certain point in time. We all go for a meal or for a lunch or whatever like that. So it's always really cool to hear those stories and to hang out with the people that you've grown to, that become your friends basically, right? So that's really cool. All right, let's talk about food real quick. So in order to minimize your cost while you're out on the road, it's a good idea to pack your food at home, right? And then take it with you and then come back. But as you can see, I'm not based at home. I'm based in Detroit. And because my schedule has been all over the place, it's very difficult for me to go back home to get food and then fly out, right? It just, right now, the way my schedule is set up, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Therefore, I've been spending a good amount of money for food while I'm on the road. Luckily, this hotel provides a breakfast in the morning, which is very helpful, but it's the same breakfast every day. It's kind of like, oh, okay, I had that yesterday. I had that the day before. Oh, it's the same thing from the day before that. So we want a little variety. So because of that, we'll probably have to go out and get our own breakfast or our own lunch. Sometimes I try to only have like 1 or 2 meals a day to try to minimize my cost, especially if I'm waiting on standby or on an A day. So that is something to consider. Money can, it's something you're going to need money for to feed yourself overall if you're commuting, and being away from home, so you can't really have something to take with you. There are other options like going to the market and picking up some sandwiches or some pre-made sort of stuff. That costs money still, and you can do that, and great. But in my particular case, I don't have a car. So if I were to go to the market, it would cost me the cost of the Uber driver plus going to the market. You put that all together, it might just actually end up being a little bit more expensive than just going across the street and getting a sandwich or a burger or a small meal or something like that, So you kind of have to weigh it. It really depends on where you are. Luckily here in Detroit, things are not very expensive, which is a great thing compared to, let's say, Boston can be pretty expensive. LA can be very expensive. So it really depends on where you're based. That's going to depend on how much you're going to be spending for your food, for your travel, for your crash pad, for your lodging and everything. So that is depending on where you are. I put in for my transfer for Seattle, and hopefully we'll see. I will find out probably in about a week or so whether I get transferred in the month of November, which would be exciting because, again, I'll be able to be home a little bit faster and more often during the month. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm looking forward to getting my schedule for October, which I should actually have in the next few days. So I'm going to go ahead and do a reaction video on October to see if I got what I bid for. Now, it's the very first time that I bid, so I'm excited to see what I got or what I didn't get for my schedule for October. So stay tuned on that one and we'll check that out. So overall, the month has been very cool. It's been very exciting. It is a completely different life change to what I'm used to. I'm used to something completely different, being at home, working at home. I used to be a photographer, a wedding photographer. Also, I'm a musician as well, and then working in restaurants and things like that. So I'm used to kind of that, being more local to home. This is the first time I've been away from home for work, especially for such a long period, learning something completely different, a completely different industry, being the aviation industry, knowing the ins and outs, the lingo, what goes here, what doesn't go here. It's a whole new world that has opened up to me, and it's been very exciting, and I'm just taking it in as it comes, and we'll learn more as we go. So far my first month has been amazing. All right, guys, so that is my first month. All right, it has been great. It has been something totally new for me. I love to learn new things, experience wonderful things. This has really fit into my lifestyle a lot. I love to travel. I love to experience new things around the world. So this has been very, very cool for me. It's not without its challenges. It is not without its, sleepless nights sometimes, not wanting to miss any phone calls. If you're on call, you don't want to miss that call. So that can be a little bit, puts you a little bit on edge from time to time. But overall, it's been amazing. It has been amazing so far. So I look forward to what's going on in the next months to come. And there you have it. All right, guys. Well, again, this is Valencia Flyer. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them below. Consider subscribing if you want to get some more information on the aviation industry as a flight attendant, and I will have more videos coming up very, very shortly. Okay? Have a wonderful day, and we will see you then. Take care now. Bye-bye.